Hi, John Heaney for Orange Envelopes. It's time to counter a growing sentiment among social media types, including some nationally recognized practitioners who really should know better, that trying to justify your company's decision to pursue a social media strategy based on ROI is somehow foolish. Now, these same high priests of social media don't ever suggest a better alternative or method to determine whether or not your company should pursue a social media strategy. They just insist you've got to do social media because it's just so darn important. And besides, your competitors are. If their argument sounds like your teenager's argument, insisting you've just got to let them stay out till 2 a.m. because everyone else is doing it, well, you're right. But let me tell you, the executives who make investment decisions aren't easily duped, they don't jump on every trendy B-school bandwagon, and they're not scared of your newfangled technology. They want more than your breathless claims. They want proof. Twitter is that thing Ashton Kutcher and Oprah play with. Facebook's the place where their teenagers waste their entire evenings. And your preoccupation with these platforms doesn't convey cutting-edge marketing savvy as much as it does pointless obsession. If you want corporate buy-in and investment, you've got to demonstrate how your social media strategy will generate positive returns for the company, in real dollars with real timelines. The ROI opponents claim that there's just simply no way to really measure ROI. After all, they say, how can you put a dollar value on a blog post or a comment or a single tweet, as if that's the measure anyone is looking for? Or they simply attempt to redefine a financial metric that's been commonly defined and routinely accepted for decades. Reading just a few recent posts by some of these legacy ROI opponents, I've seen ROI redefined as return on impact, return on impressions, return on importance, return on influence, because that makes you feel important, and my personal favorite for its absurd complexity and absolutely impenetrable formula, that ROI should really be return on conversation, whose formula is, now grab your calculator because this gets complex, brand equity times the intent of communication times the message plus sustainability times reach divided by sustainability over outcomes divided by the cost times the budget plus the time to produce plus experience. And I believe the result is actually measured in Schrootbucks. The reality is that ROI is much simpler than that. You only need to know two numbers: how much you gain from the investment and the total cost of the investment itself. That's it. Your ROI is the gain minus the cost divided by the cost. If you spend $1,000 and saw an increase in sales of $1,500, then your ROI is $1,500 minus 1,000 divided by 1,000, 50%. Now, I think I know where the disconnect is. Social media engagement typically generates an action that is non-financial in nature. You collect Twitter followers, you get retweets, you get comments on your blog, you add new Facebook fans, you attract YouTube viewers, or you generate click-throughs to your website. These aren't ROI. How do I know? Because my banker won't take Twitter followers in lieu of a check. Clear enough for you? Now, I don't want to diminish the importance of engagement with your clients and your prospects. I am a huge adherent of social media, and I recognize its transformative potential, but only if it's used strategically with specific objectives you can track and you can measure. ROI doesn't become ROI until it does one of two things: increases revenue, decreases costs. Those are financial impacts that are real, they're measurable, and they put a grin on your CEO's face. Determining ROI is not a laughingstock metric in the corporate world. Calculating potential ROI demands you create a strategic plan, you consider alternatives, you project your likely actions and returns, and it makes you define your plan's objectives, put them down on paper, and support them when they're challenged. Simply saying that we need a social media program because our competitor has a social media program is absurd. What if their program simply drains their marketing budget without any noticeable effect? Is that something you want to copy? If you want funding, you need to justify your program with more than intemperate claims that we've just got to do something. What's your goal? To increase revenue or decrease costs? How are you going to do it? Who's going to be involved? How much time is necessary? What technology platforms will you support? How will your program fit into your operational structure? What do you want your conversational partners to do? And how will your success be tracked and measured? If you don't know the answers, you don't deserve the funding. Social media marketing is no different from any other marketing. It just uses new channels and has interactivity built in. If you can't tell me how you intend to leverage the medium and generate a positive return, you can always try again next quarter after you learn.